Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something you've probably walked past 100 times, sitting right there next to the energy drinks and snacks at your local convenience store. But what's hiding inside these friendly-looking packages? Well, it's a whole different story.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Those displays right by the register, perfectly designed to catch your eye while you're waiting. Little products promising to help you focus, give you a jolt of energy, or maybe just help you chill out.
And they look so legit. They come in these really professional, almost medical-grade packages. You've got these colorful gummies, these slick little wellness shots, or maybe tablets that look just like any other vitamin supplement. And that's the whole point, right? The branding is meant to make you feel safe, to make it seem like just another health product. But that slick marketing, it's hiding a pretty serious reality. So what's the secret ingredient? What's the thing that's actually giving these products their kick?
Okay, so here it is. The answer is a chemical called 7-hydroxymitragynine. We'll just call it 7-OH for short. And here's the absolute kicker. Functionally, it is an opioid. It works by latching onto the very same mu-opioid receptors in your brain that morphine does. Yeah, morphine.
So let's really break this down. We're going to dig into what this chemical is, where it's coming from, and the big one, why regulators are now calling it a major public health threat.
So at its most basic level, 7-OH is a natural chemical, an alkaloid, that comes from the kratom tree, which grows in Southeast Asia. But here's the thing. Even though it comes from a plant, its effects are pure opioid. We're talking pain relief, sedation, euphoria, and all the same risks too, like dangerously slowed breathing and, yes, dependence. This isn't just opioid-like. It literally hits the exact same switches in your brain as other opioids.
And this brings us to a really critical point. The danger isn't so much in the natural kratom leaf itself, it's all about how that leaf gets processed. This is where a traditional plant becomes a very modern and very potent threat.
So this right here, this is the core of the problem. If you look at a natural kratom leaf, it has only tiny, trace amounts of 7-OH. We're talking hundredths of a percent, barely anything. But these new products, the shots, the gummies, they are a completely different ballgame. The 7-OH is either super concentrated from the plant or, in some cases, just added synthetically. The dose is magnified far beyond anything you'd ever find in nature. And that right there is where the danger just goes through the roof.
So just how powerful are we talking? Well, get this. In some animal tests, 7-OH was found to be about 10 times more potent than morphine when it comes to pain relief. Now that's a lab finding, not a perfect one-to-one for humans, but it gives you a shocking idea of the kind of power that's being bottled up and sold at the corner store.
And wait, it gets even more complicated. Your body is basically its own little chemistry lab. It can take the main chemical in kratom, this stuff called mitragynine, and actually convert it into the much more potent 7-OH. And this process can be supercharged by all sorts of common things. Some prescription drugs, even grapefruit juice. This means the same dose can hit one person way harder than another. It's totally unpredictable.
So with that kind of potency and unpredictability, we have to be really clear about the actual mechanism of harm. How does an overdose from a substance like this actually happen?
It's the classic and tragic opioid pathway. Here's what happens. First, the 7-OH hits those opioid receptors in your brainstem, that's your body's breathing control center. This makes your body less sensitive to carbon dioxide buildup, which is the main signal that tells you, hey, time to take a breath. So what happens next? Your breathing slows down, way down, or can stop altogether. Then oxygen levels plummet. You lose consciousness, and if nobody intervenes, cardiac arrest follows. It's a terrifyingly simple chain reaction.
You know, one expert put it in a way that just really sticks with you. He said that when you're talking about these concentrated and isolated forms of 7-OH, the stuff in these retail products, he said this is the kill zone. It's just so blunt, so direct. The combination of high, unreliable doses and fast absorption is just a recipe for disaster.
And it's not just the 7-OH by itself. The danger gets way worse when you start mixing in other things. Combining it with any kind of depressant, like alcohol or benzodiazepines or even over-the-counter sleep aids, is playing with fire. Then there's the fact that the doses are all over the place. And if someone has an underlying condition like sleep apnea,
the risk is even higher. So because the danger is so clear, and it's out there right now, things are starting to change, and they're changing fast. Public health agencies and regulators are finally taking major action. I mean, just look at how quickly this is moving. In late 2023, the FDA comes out and officially recommends controlling 7-OH. Just a few weeks later, Florida announces it's making 7-OH a Schedule I drug, which is a total ban. And now, the DEA itself is reviewing it for possible scheduling across the entire country. The walls are definitely closing in.
So why the huge crackdown all of a sudden? Well, it's pretty much a perfect storm. You have this lab-potent opioid being sold with the same ease as a pack of gum. You've got totally unpredictable, unreliable dosing. And then there's this last point. Someone described adding another potent, unregulated opioid into the world right now as playing chemical Jenga with your breathing. And honestly, that's a perfect way to put it.
Okay, so after all of that, what's the most important thing you can take away from this? It's really about knowing what to look for, so you can understand the real risks. Let's get into a practical guide.
Think of this as your personal field guide. First, check the label for the chemical names, 7-hydroxymetragenine, or any of its abbreviations like 7-OH. Then, be on high alert for any marketing buzzwords like enhanced, extract, shot, or gummies. And finally, be aware of some of the brand names that regulators have already called out, like 7-Tabs or Roxy Tabs. If you see this kind of language, you have to assume it's a high-risk product.
So what's the expert consensus on how to stay safe? It's pretty straightforward. First, just avoid any product that's marketed as an extract, shot, or gummy. Second, absolutely never combine these things with alcohol, benzos, or other sedatives. Third, remember those weird interactions. Even grapefruit juice can be a problem. Fourth, and this is crucial, if opioids of any kind are in a home, have naloxone on hand. It can reverse an overdose and save a life while you're waiting for help to arrive. And of course, avoid it entirely if pregnant. So this whole situation really leaves us with one last thought, doesn't it? We've seen how some slick marketing can make a powerful opioid look like a simple wellness product. It forces you to ask a bigger question. If something can be packaged to look this harmless, what other dangers could be hiding in plain sight?